And we're live.
Wowzers.
Wowzers.
Oh my god.
Hold on, I gotta wait for it to update on
My computer's
YouTube. There we go. Nice. I caught it before the audio started. So there's no like echo or whatever. Alright, let me get this tweet into all the group chats, you know what I'm saying?
Where are the people at?
I'm gonna share it on my YouTube.
Yes, sir. Oh, nice, thank you.
Yeah, let's do that.
Same.
Great idea, gentlemen.
Wowzers.
Wowzers.
Oh, all the credit to Jay.
Look at that. Look at the brain on this kid.
Look at the head on your shoulders.
Oh yeah, let me throw it in my Discord too.
And this is specific, just to make sure this is for like specific. This is for characters, right? And characters in anime.
Well, see, it's up to interpretation, right? I specifically didn't explain it on purpose so that whatever way you interpreted it was
Did the same thing I did.
So I have, so I can take this a lot of different ways. Then that's fine.
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
few more ideas popped into my head.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's what I love to hear.
Knox, I feel like you're gonna say the one that I'm gonna say, which is why I want to go first because I want to say it first.
All right,
I feel like it.
All right, bet. I tried to go like I don't want to say like unorthodox, like unexpected, but like I'd be surprised if any of mine are shared with you, Jay. Honestly, yeah. I'd be surprised if any of mine are shared with Dancho too, but they still could be. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, man, like 5 to 7 would be good in case there's overlap. You know, shit like that.
Yep, very true.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely, man. We can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pass it to you. We'll have you go first when we start it off, just to make sure.
As soon as you clarified that, Knox, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. I was like, my brain didn't even think to go into something outside of characters.
Right. Yeah, that's why I like doing these tie-in episodes, man, because like some of them are like just really easy. You know what I mean? When the last one we did, like best weapons, and actually that one was kind of left up for interpretation too. But like best mentors in anime is one that we did, and it's like there's no misinterpreting that. There's no extra interpretations. It's literally like you know what comes to mind when you think of a mentor, and you know who qualifies. You know what I mean? This one is a little bit different because it's just origins. You know.
And now that you said that, it makes one of mine makes me feel more confident in it because now I can expand it into more than just what I focused it on. Now I can make it a bigger thing. So I'm excited now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah. It's gonna be hype.
Dancho, what's that new series that you've been gassing by Okubo's assistant?
Gachiya Kuda?
Gachiya Kuda. Okay.
I'm about to eat that series up. When it gets translated, bro. Because listen, oh man, I love Okubo. That's my guy. Right, and the fact that he ended Fire Force the way he ended Fire Force, which means the things I've been saying since I was been reading Fire Force in 2016 is like true. Makes him fantastic. Like, I mean, just the fact that he tied in like Soul Eater and Fire Force. Now they're like one universe now is like just perfection.
Yeah,
and
I heard that.
I saw him in 2019 at AX, the last AX they had with everybody I see there.
Who?
He was there. Yeah, Okubo. Yeah, you didn't know me back then. It was before I was a content creator. I was just a dude on any Twitter. But I posted a whole bunch of like posts because I seen him. I went to the panel where you was able to watch the first episode of Fire Force with him with the anime, and it dropped on my birthday. So it was like a whole birthday thing for me actually. But he said a lot of stuff about how Soul Eater. He felt like he was doing his best with motifs and themes, and so he purposely put a lot of those sneakily into Fire Force. And now all this time where I kept saying they might be the same universe, they're the same universe, he confirmed it. So that just makes me a really, really big fan of him and how he's able to do that. And since this series, he tweeted himself, he said he's excited for it because this is his assistant. It's a female, and he feels like she's his successor.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That like she's like the next up, he said.
What a drastic cosign. Holy shit.
He was like, and then she was like, she's cooler than me. Like, that's literally what he said, that she's cooler than me. And if you go see her art from her one shot 2020, I'll link it to you.
Yeah, please do that. Because this sounds like a day one.
dude, she's insane.
This
like,
sounds like a day one, chapter one.
insane.
Stan, like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, so I read the raws because the raws are free on the is it Manga Pocket? I believe it's Manga Pocket, a Japanese site.
Okay.
So I read those for free. The art's insane, first and foremost.
Yeah, it
so
looks
far
cool
the
as hell,
concept,
bro.
yes, and if you hit so far the concept is a revenge story, and you can read that from just a translation.
Yep, I saw that on the tweet or whatever.
Yeah, character Rudo, his mentor was killed, and he's been framed for it. And he's been dropped into what's called the abyss. So instantly I'm thinking made in abyss. You know what I'm saying? Instantly. Yeah. Right? But when you read this chapter and when they drop him down into the abyss, it's very interesting to me because it's like he falls through two skies. He falls through and then he does a big double spread of him in between a sky cloud here, a bunch of clouds here looks like sky, and a bunch of clouds here that looks like a sky.
Yeah.
And then you see this really creepy looking black figure in the distance, and he looks at it, and he gets something like happens to his eye or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he falls through that other set of clouds, and he's in a whole bunch of trash that looks like modern day trash and electronics. And there's there's electric poles and like a whole bunch of power outage stuff connected. So it looks like modern day stuff, but it's also dystopian. And then some giant beast pops up behind him to try to kill him in the chapter. I'm like, okay, I need this translation.
I'm already with the shits, bro. That sounds so interesting.
It's weekly.
And it's gonna be weekly.
What's the name of this?
Gachia Kuda.
Yep.
Chia Kuda. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty. The Discord's at 200 members already. So I can link y'all to Discord and whatever.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
I'm following that day one already. Jay, you just hit 1,000 subs on Twitch.
Yeah.
Dude, congratulations, bro.
Let's go,
sir.
Movements.
So it was definitely a great experience. I'm not gonna lie. So,
dude, that's so exciting. I'm so happy. 1,000 followers on Twitch is hard to do. That's a big deal.
Yes.
Or wait.
Yeah.
No.
It was.
No. That's 1,000 subs. Yeah.
Yeah. So
they say I'm almost at 1,000 followers on Twitch.
So a lot of them are. So a lot of them are gifted. So like, I'm not gonna get too excited, but just getting there in general, it's like a huge thing. So I was very excited about that one.
Yeah, that's insane, bro.
Gifted still shows that support though. They support you. You know what I'm saying?
I absolutely. You know, these niggas made me cry, bro. I was upset. You know, so I was
I went back into the VOD to see.
They had me, bro. They got me. I was upset.
Nice.
I need to see these JD tears, man. How visceral. How wholesome.
Gotta love your chat, bro. They're the best.
Dude, I love your chat. Bro. They be cracking me up whenever I pull up for your Mugen streams, your live reactions or something. Dude, your chat be having me in tears.
They're little assholes. I ain't gonna lie.
That's why I love them, bro. They're ruthless as shit, bro.
Yeah, bro. They don't care. They will roast. They roast me for sport. It's a pastime. You know,
that's the fun.
It's like, bro. I was about to make a wild analogy. I'm glad I didn't go down there because it's too dark. But it's a pastime.
What up, Zach? What up, Kichi? What up, Hayes? Jay Awini.
Hayes, my boy.
Yeah, Hayes the guy. What a soldier.
That's the guy, man.
A champion, if you will.
Champion.
Something beyond that. I'm trying to find the term.
Scholar, gentleman.
There you go.
All of those positive epithets and monikers. That's the guy.
Speaking of epithets, man, I'm what's going on with these people? And maybe this is a bad time to say this, but what's up with this? People trying to create new epithets for these manga, man.
What do you mean?
People want to make new big threes.
Oh, dude, that's been going on.
People
for calling.
Like they calling Sakamoto days. What they called? I forgot what somebody. Funniest term ever. What was it?
Oh, no, they better not be setting Sakamoto up, man, because I love Sakamoto days, and I don't need anime Twitter ruining its perception.
It was something like, was it the Dark Horse of Jump? Just these funny epithets they be coming up when I be laughing. I be like, bro,
ever since Jump came up and announced the Hell set, everyone's been like, man, how can I get my series in a cool name like that?
It's hilarious. I find it so funny.
Yeah, that's just funny as hell, man.
It's cute.
Anime Twitter is so annoying, man, because it's like, dude, it's like every time something new comes out, the entire timeline is just overtaken by these like really intense arguments surrounding like some kid decided to like use the greater than sign or decided to take that new thing that came out, whether it's a show or a book or a comic, whatever, and they'll read it, the recency bias will overtake them, and then they'll hit the timeline and just start comparing it to things, and everyone just feeds into it. And it's like we just have a terrible week on Twitter because y'all don't know how to ignore these niggas, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
It's any Twitter for you, bro.
Yeah, like come on, man. Like how much better would our lives be on this app if we all just collectively woke up and said, "I'm not giving this the time of day."
Literally, I have found myself on Tumblr, and that's been the biggest culture shock of my life.
I'd be sidestepping the greater than signs now, man. I'd be walking over them like, you know, like that episode of Dave Chappelle with Snoop Dogg and the Now and Later Gators walking over dude in slow motion. That's how I'd be doing these niggas comparing shit on Twitter now. I used to be so active on their ass. Like, no, actually. But now I'm just like, yeah, nah, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
I'm missing a lot of it. Like I have to like DM people or I talk to people in my Discord. Like, what's this discourse going on? I'm missing it because I don't actually see the original post anymore. I'm like seeing the subtweets and like the roundabout context tweets. I'm like, what are we getting? And then somebody got to DM me the original.
Wait, DM you the original what?
The original tweet. I'm sorry. They DM me the original tweet, and I'm like, why are we even paying this attention?
Yeah,
like, let's just.
On, and I think Zach is right. Like they enjoy arguing. Like people like telling people that they're wrong. You know what I mean? For a combination of reasons, because it makes them feel better about their takes and whatever, what have you. So that's like it's easy to like. I even find myself even after saying all the things that I just said. Whenever I see some shit I disagree with, I have to like pull my hand back. Like don't say shit. You know what I mean? I get that urge to want to correct people. So I get that.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. At this point, I just have time. I have energy for clapping back. For whatever reason, I know it's not good for my soul. It's not good for my mental health. It's not good. You know, but some people just know how to say the right thing to piss you off. And I'm just like, all right, I got to make sure. I got to get you. I got to get you.
And it's always funny when you do it. So it's like totally fine.
Yeah, man. It's like, bro, dealing with like the YouTube comment section, like, and there's, I mean, this community, I guess it's every YouTube community, you know, but just some people, did they just say certain things that it's like, it's so wrong and it's so egregious and it's so warped that you have to check it. You have to check it because I'm not letting you do that. I'm not gonna let you do that. And it's bad because there are so many people that show you so much love and have so many positive comments and they treat you well. But it's the one, and why is it always the ones that are so negative? The one out of the four, it's like the one black grain of rice out of the white rice. It's like, why is that rice there, bro? It's gotta go. I don't need it. You know, it's sad. You know, I guess it's a part of human psychology.
Yeah. Maybe it's just like now that we have like social media and all of these ways to constantly interact with each other and share our opinions, maybe it's just like gonna be looked back at as just human nature, you know, to just jump into some shit on fucking the internet and argue for fucking days and weeks and hours and shit. Just you have to do it. You're like prone to do it now.
You just want to go crazy.
Pretty much.
Fight it. Yeah. You guys ready to start?
I'm ready.
I'm ready whenever y'all are.
Okay. Let me switch to our conversation screen.
Somebody said Red Hood should have lived and it just got licensed for I don't know. That's just hilarious.
Red Hood should have lived. I never read it, so I don't really have an opinion on Red Hood, but okay. Hello everyone. And welcome back to Tangential Tie-Ins. I'm Knox, and I'm joined with a couple of my very good friends and talented content creators, JD Legend and Doncho from Doncho's Hideout. I'll let you guys kind of go in and further introduce yourselves. JD, first time on one of our official shows. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us, bro.
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. What's up, everybody? You know, it's your boy, the Don, the Godfather, future Hall of Famer, JD Legend. You know, here to share on some legendary origin stories that the streets need to be reminded of. So I'm kind of excited to be here. Happy to be with my boy Doncho. My first time collabing with you too. Nice to meet you, brother. You know,
nice to meet you. Hello.
Yes, sir.
I think everybody knows me who's in here pretty much. But if you don't know me, I'm Doncho, your favorite below average Jujutsu Kaisen. any manga. Anybody that knows me, they call me Don. If you want to catch me, you can catch me on Twitter at Kaizen, or just join my Discord, because that's really where I be at. So catch me there. We can hang out, do different things, play games, talk mess. But I'm just here to hang out with the boys, talk about best origins, like JD said. Excited for it.
Yeah, dude. Yes. Thanks again for joining me, gentlemen. And of course, you guys all have all of their like links where you can like find them on YouTube and Twitch and whatnot. If you are not already, that'll be down in the description. While you're down there, of course, you can see all of our links. Follow all of the members of Project Manga, including myself, on our Twitter accounts. Join our online communities like Discord. Listen to our podcasts anywhere you normally consume them, like Spotify or Apple Music. And there's ways to, of course, support what we do over here at Project Manga by checking out our online store or our Patreon. But getting into the topic at hand, best origins. Some of you may be asking, what does that mean? Well, I specifically threw that out there and didn't explain it to the other two because I like introducing tie-in topics and leaving it up to interpretation. So best origins, no matter how you interpret it, though, is very important. You know what I mean? It's arguably one of the most important aspects to character writing in fiction in general. But origins are like super important for, you know, the medium of like anime and manga. You know what I mean? I feel like we're constantly talking about and referencing and comparing origins. And I feel like anime and manga offer some of the best character origins throughout fiction. You know what I mean? So that's what we're here to talk about tonight. It could be, you know, like origins, the way that they're kind of given in stories will either be like a quick origin that you get for a character or a thing like right away, like as soon as they're introduced. And then you get like a quick origin, and then later on in the story you'll get like the entire picture. Sometimes you get everything you need to know about a character right away. There's a lot of different origins and backstories and flashbacks that we've seen throughout anime and manga's history. So we're gonna highlight some of our favorites tonight. I don't know who wanted to go first. We were talking about it. JD, Doncho. I think I'm gonna pass it to JD just because JD has not ever been on one of our official shows. So JD, what is the first pick that you have for today?
So today, you know, Knox, we love Hunter x Hunter. You know, we love Hunter x Hunter. And
we do.
There's a character that we have not gotten the full exposure for, but we got an origin story anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, this character is so intriguing just because he still has potential to be in the story, although Togashi may never show up again. But that Gyro backstory, bro, was special. That was a special.
You stole my first.
I knew I was taking it from somebody, bro. I knew I was taking it from somebody. I knew I was taking it from somebody because, I mean, you know, one thing that I'll say is like, I'll also tie in like the way it was delivered, right? In the anime. Because to me, Hunter x Hunter 2011 is the best anime outside of FMAB that I've ever seen. And I will die on that hill.
I agree. I'm dying up there with you, back to back,
right on that hill.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't think anything's gonna top it. Like, you can bring me Demon Slayer, you can bring me all of this bullshit. Nothing will ever meet the masterpiece that was episode 131 with Netero versus Meruem. That is the pinnacle. That's a pinnacle of an anime episode. There's no better anime episode ever created than that episode. But the Gyro backstory, learning, it's a guy you were never introduced to, but he had so much influence and reverence, and he created an entire country. Yeah. And the way, the sadness of his story and the gruesome behavior of the father and the way he was treated, and how it's like the way they depicted it as it's such a terrible backstory. But it's the fact that because he's my father and because I'm still in this house,
yes,
that is the one thing I'm going to cling on to.
Yes.
That's the only thing I'm going to cling on to.
Yeah.
Despite, you know, the numerous screaming and the yelling and the beating and the fact that his father traumatized him so much that when I think what was it that he was like trying to he wanted to use the bathroom or something. He wanted to use the bathroom or something like that, or he made a little bit of noise because he was on the top bunk.
Yeah, and his dad came and beat the brakes off
the fuck out of him, and to the point where he does not move. He does not, even if he has to pee, he does not move at all to sleep. I'm like, that is like abuse to another level. Right. That's different. And the fact that someone at this job beat the hell out of him and his father saw him and just walked away.
Dude.
And I was just like, nigga.
It was so drastic because Gyro is saying or the narrator rather is saying, you know, throughout the episode, you know, like Gyro knew that even though his dad was so shitty, there was one specific moment that reminded him that his dad still cared about him. You know what I mean?
And when he took care of him,
and
then you find out it wasn't even him that took care of him. I said, "Oh, nigga!"
Yeah, it's so bad, man. It's so bad.
It was just so.
Gyro is a situation where it's like, even though a lot of people can't say that they've been in a similar situation in their upbringing, I mean, people can definitely say that. I feel like most people wouldn't be able to share that backstory with Gyro, but it's still a situation that is just so easy to put yourself into and imagine and feel for him, because it's like, one way or another, I mean, like, some people have had just like, you know, silver spoon, idyllic, you know, upbringings and whatnot, and I'm definitely not talking about them, but there is definitely times in everyone's life where they question their parents, potentially, you know, where they're questioning their parents, and I feel like it's a natural thing for everybody when they're growing up to kind of like realize that your parents aren't gods. You know what I mean? Like, that's like a big realization that we all make one day. Like, your parents can make mistakes, and they often do. You know what I mean? And so when you think about like abuse, everyone's got some kind of example of abuse in their life or someone that they know. You know what I mean? So it's very easy to kind of put yourself in Gyro's shoes and feel for him once that pathos starts hitting for him, especially the way that it's delivered in Hunter x Hunter with the OST and the narrator.
It's the OST that breaks you.
Just the writing in general just brings you in and puts you in, you know, the mind and shoes of this Gyro character that you didn't even know anything about before the backstory.
You don't even know what he looks like. That's the thing. It's just like, he's just a shadowy figure. And it's like, for me, what really sold it was like, his head is on the ground, and like someone is the construction worker is stepping on his head, and his eyes are just locked in on his father, looking at him and turning away. And I'm just like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And of course, he killed him. He beat the shit out of him.
Oh yeah,
killed that nigga.
Yeah,
like murdered him gruesomely. And I'm like, lovely. Yeah. And then he set out to be the most evil nigga he could be. He created a drug and said, I am now ruining the world. And his whole ideology was, everybody has to suffer. Everybody's suffering. And you can't, to me, Gyro's one of them people, there's no redemption story. You're never going to convince him.
Yeah.
You're never going to convince him. It's not happening. Yeah. So what makes me so upset is that Gyro is still around. You know, if he's still around, like that little image, that little panel that Togashi put of Gyro walking around in Meteor City. Yeah. Gyro in Meteor City is a big problem.
Yeah.
That is a huge problem because, and if he's a Chimera ant and he has Nen, you think the fourth prince is bad. Gyro getting Nen, the streets are dead.
Yeah. I remember it was a big thing in Hunter x Hunter talk back in the day that Gyro was potentially the king reincarnated. Right? Or whatever. I don't remember.
Like that.
Yeah. Do you remember that, Doncho? I feel like
it was a conversation. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I remember it was something like, because what happened was he was technically the first of the ants to leave the queen without anything happening. Like without the king killing her or anything. He was instantly born and was like, I'm still Gyro. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
He didn't care about her, none of that. He just dipped out. So everybody was already had a kingly. That was like the thing. Like he already came out a Chimera Ant king, just like Miriam. It just was. We just wasn't given all of that same like we was with Miriam. That was like that.
Yeah.
I remember liking that theory a lot. I remember like when I was first going through the series and just like having regular Hunter x Hunter conversation casually. It's like, man, what if Gyro? You know, because they came in and they ran up on him and they found his base, and that's where like Moonju, I think is that Moonju. I don't know why I just remembered that motherfucker's name, but like the centaur motherfucker that had like the butt naked human like dog slaves and shit.
That was wild. I'm not gonna lie, that was wild.
That dude kicked the door in and found Gyro, you know, in his throne or whatever, and then killed his ass. And then we knew that happened before the king's birth. And then, you know, all of a sudden the king is born, and then parallels between the king and Gyro started. And I remember being like, yo, that's got to be what it is. And then it just like wasn't that, I think. It's been a long time since I've gone through the story of Hunter. But yeah, man, Gyro's a good one.
Really good. I love Gyro.
Hell yeah, man.
That was my first on my list.
Yeah, that was
the first. I was like, I'm gonna start off light.
That was light. I'm sorry.
That was a great way. That was a great way to start the conversation. And you guys, I forgot to mention it. You guys live chat. Thanks for pulling up. By the way, it's good to see all of you guys. We got a lot of familiar faces in the chat and a lot of new ones. I'm sure that are coming from Doncho and Jay's channels. Welcome, by the way. If you guys, have anything that you want to throw in, any kind of input, feel free to fill up the chat with conversation about your favorite origins in anime and manga. And if you want to speak directly to us and have us address whatever you're talking about, let that be known too. If the chat fills up and I can't see all of your messages, and you really want to make sure that your message is heard and talked about and addressed, feel free to use the super chat option, and that will put it into a queue that I literally can't miss, and we'll make sure that we get it in the conversation if it does get to that. But it looks like the chat isn't going too crazy, so if you guys want to throw something out there, we'll try to get to it by the end of the conversation. But Doncho,
yes,
what do you got? I know JD took your first pick there, but
yeah, so I will go with something that I think all of us in here also appreciate. The origins of Aladdin from Magi.
Yeah, that's good.
His Amataran birth story and the whole story of Amataran. That whole thing for me is one of my favorite main character origin stories, because that's literally his birth story.
Absolutely.
How he came into the world, while he was into the world was going to shit.
Yeah. So
it was ending so much. I don't know. It's a lot. It's hard for me to go deep into the specifics of it because I've gone forever and haven't read Amataran in a while. But
yeah, me neither.
Best origins. It was the first, one of the first things I thought in my head was, oh my gosh, I love Amataran. And so, just knowing that Aladdin was this character who was literally what people treated as God and the world's son.
Yeah. And
he was, literally him to a degree. So the way he moved, other characters that came from the past world even see Solomon in him. I just love stuff like that with characters, especially if it's familiar things. I love seeing people go, I see the Jing and go. Stuff like that just really hit home for me. I think it's because people say that about me and my father.
You said the Jing. You said people see the Jing. Sorry, you're starting to cut out a little bit. You might have.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's all good. You might have to go into your settings and turn your. I can't remember what that one setting is, but it Hold on one second. I'm about to go grab it now because it's actually.
Yeah, let me check.
You're cutting out a decent bit here. Hold on one second. I don't want to do it from my computer because it's going to fuck the layout up. But it literally was not doing this for you like that before the episode started.
Right, yeah. Let me see. Let me check.
Yeah, it's I can't even remember what the setting is right now.
I'm going into my voice right now.
It's like a slider, though. Under voice and video settings, it's it's not attenuation, but it's one of the first sliders you see. It's you turn off noise suppression or something like that. You turn it off, and then the slider splits from a white line to it splits in half from yellow to green, and with a white divider in the middle. If you slide that more to the left, then it'll pick up more of your audio, I think is how that works. But yeah, it's just
I see what you're talking about here.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but
is that better?
Yeah, I think so. You're gonna have to talk a little bit before because you cut out
hopefully
randomly
that
before.
Works out.
Yeah, I think you sound better now. Sorry, continue.
Okay, no, you're fine. I was just saying pretty much. I just love seeing characters being compared to their families and seeing those connections be brought to full light, and just seeing how Aladdin came to be, and how we kept seeing I don't want Amataran to happen again, all that type of stuff. But then when you actually get to go back and see what happens to those characters, you know what I'm saying, see what caused those events to unfold and how those events are now affecting the current world, it's just really cool to see. I just love stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amataran was the first thing I thought of. I was I got to talk about it.
No, that's a really good one, especially because it kind of goes into the different kinds of origin that I kind of barely, briefly touched on, at the beginning of the conversation, where it's Aladdin was a character that we really didn't know anything about when he was introduced, but we also didn't really need to know too much about him because he was such a small, young character. Couldn't have had too much of a story, at least in my opinion. When I was reading it, I was damn, I wish. I want to know what's going on with this Aladdin kid, but he's 9 years old. What kind of story is there? You know what I mean? He found this genie lamp, and he's got Ugo and shit now, and it's I feel we know enough, and it's about the story of learning who he is through the fucking narrative, and then oh no, Alma Turan arc hits, and it's like you were someone else before, and it's like okay, and not only were you someone else before, you were probably the most important person in the universe. So like that is like one of the coolest things, and I don't know if I don't know how much of Magi has actually been adapted. I think
not that.
I think there's
not
two
that.
seasons.
Yeah, not that.
Oh, okay. So I'll just throw this out here. This is an anime friendly show. I feel like a lot of the people who watch, you know, our content are current in a lot of the manga that we bring up in conversation anyway. But just, you know, for courtesy's sake, if we are going to go into like spoiler territory for like narrative points and characters that haven't been covered in the adaptation version of the series that we're talking about, we'll try our best to be like, yo, spoilers for X manga or whatever. But I mean, Magi's been out for so long now that it's like if you didn't go back into the manga after finishing season 2, it's like I don't know what to do for you. You know, that's a older story now. But
I treat Alma Turan as like the Marine Ford of Magi. Like
right?
It's just like the absolute peak. Like from beginning to end, that arc was just a joy to read. I was just like, I didn't think Magi could hit heights like this. You're like like first of all, it's just the concept itself of the way the world was constructed, the concept of Magoi, where it came from, the fact that this entity, this entity that has no conscience or anything is like God. It's like that's a very unique way to depict what God is, because it has no agenda, nothing. It's literally just a mass of energy.
Yeah.
That is so like it's so all powerful, but it's just a mass. Like it's just like whoever taps into that can be toxic as hell, and that's what David was. It was just so toxic, and it's like then you learn about Solomon and Arba. Like Arba, oh my god, the scariest woman ever. Oh my god, there's no one scarier than Arba.
Yeah, dude,
I swear to God, that woman's face, yo, when she decides she wants to be creepy, it's too scary. I can't look at her for too long.
Yeah,
because how can someone be so pretty but then be so twisted?
Those are like my favorite kinds of like antagonists, low key. Yeah, it's like I'm scaroused.
Yes, that one. And it's the thing. It's like that's why. So the art. So remind me the author's name of Magi.
Oh man, no. Shinobu Otaka. Oh my god, I was about to have a heart attack.
Yo, the way. So one thing I love. This is what I really praise Horikoshi for stuff like this as well.
Yeah.
If you can really show the psychology of a character with their facial expressions and your art, I hold you in very, very high regards. Shinobu, with these facial expressions that you saw on Arba's face, you was like, this woman has a twisted personality that is so deep, and you can see it in her face. It's like it doesn't end. It's like an abyss of just twisted behavior. Like there's no saving this woman. She's actually worse than Satan. Satan would be scared of her.
And it's so well represented. You made such a good point. I feel like being able to convey, you know, emotions properly in your art is a slept-on quality inside of manga that just isn't talked about as often as it should be. And I'm, you know, kind of thinking about it right now. Like, when was the last time I thought about that? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, we definitely highlight, you know, facial expressions whenever like they're super drastic on our show. But like we've never actually just sat down and like gushed in like wax poetic form about how good some of these artists are at doing this thing.
Exactly. I think that was just like it was rampant in Alma Turan, and then I mean, just everything about Alma Turan was just amazing, and just to feat that is so much pressure on Aladdin, dude. All of that just highlighted this man has the weight of everything. It's not just the world. It's not just the universe. It's everything. Everything is on this little nigga's shoulders. I'm like, that's too much.
And it was so cool the way that it was given to us too, because like the way that the arc was structured was like Aladdin comes back from like whatever, and he's like, I got a story to tell, and then like astral projection from the pineal gland like into, you know, the room that he was telling the story to everybody with his audience and shit. And I was just like, this is the best way to start a flashback arc.
It was because it literally came off of him trying to stop an Alma Turan from happening back in Mago de Stop.
Exactly.
And then right after that, he's like, okay, y'all, listen, this is why I'm doing everything I'm doing, showing this true story. And not only did it show the reader why he was so important, it showed the world why he was so important. So then instantly everyone was like, okay, I need this. characters that we thought was our close friends all of a sudden started looking shady.
Yeah.
Like, it just got really good.
It got real, man.
It just got so real. I'm just like, man, because Magi was like intense as it was with the war, the Magnastad War, and then obviously fighting off that, heinous creature that Arba summoned to the world, whatever that thing was, terrifying, just nothing but black hands. And I was like, all right, I'm scared. And then just for you to go to that, and it's like, I remember people were complaining that Alma Taran was too long. I'm like, God, I wish Oda would do something like this. Yeah. Like, I pray to God, Oda, please look at Alma Taran, Void Century. Please. That is the textbook. Copy, cheat. Just fucking cheat. Just cheat.
Just cheat.
Just cheat. I don't care if it's plagiarism. Just copy Alma Taran. Just do it.
I love that.
I agree.
It's the perfect way to talk about the Void Century because you've held it over our heads for so long. If you only give us one random expose of a girl say talking about the Void Century for 4 seconds, I swear I'll drop one piece there. I'll drop it.
And dude,
I will drop one.
Oda could copy that like to a T because he could just give someone a devil fruit power that like does the exact same thing as fucking.
That's what I'm saying.
As Aladdin,
It could be perfect. It would literally be the perfect thing to do. And people say, don't tell Oda to write. Fuck you, nigga. Oda, that's what you should do.
Yeah, I'm with.
That's what you should do. I'm telling you that's what you need to do, okay? I'm not listening to y'all no more.
Nah, that's hilarious. What the fuck? I need it now. Like you made a really good point. I never really thought too much about like how the exposition for the Void Century would kind of go. I guess I just assumed it would be like a black guttered flashback like it usually is for anything, you know what I mean? Just randomly we'll start the chapter or it'll like gradient from white gutter to black gutter at the end of a chapter, to start the fucking Void Century flashback. And then that's just where we are, just superimposed over the story. But I love the convention of actually giving an ability to someone that allows them to communicate the backstory to multiple people in a room or something, because a lot of people need to know that story. Like when the Void Century information gets out, it's not something that only a couple people can know still. Like, no, this is something the whole world needs to know. Otherwise we're still at the same place.
Exactly. It has to be delivered right. To me, Oda's credibility hinges on the Void Century, and I'm being very serious because the entire story is centered around that blank period. The entire story. If that misses, One Piece is trash. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think I'd agree
because
with you.
It compromises so many different things in the story. If the Void Century is trash, and people don't understand that.
You're right.
You're spitting. You're spitting.
Luffy's journey is fraudulent. Robin is fraudulent. O'Hara, the Gorosei, everything is fraudulent. If the Void Century is trash.
Oh yeah, nah. Oda better not have the fraudacity to give us a fucking shallow, weak.
Nah, he got this. It's gonna be the
Void Century.
The fraud century.
The fraud century
still around. The fraud century.
You can't be the fraud century. You can't be. You can't, man.
No.
Things, bro. Like when people people saying, "Oh, you're talking crazy." I promise you, when I start listing the things that the Void Century is centered around, and if it's trash, the One Piece means nothing. Raftel means nothing. Like what more do you want? Skypiea, Nika, all of that shit means nothing. It means nothing if the Void Century doesn't hit.
Dude, it means
nothing.
You're so right, man. Wow, I never thought about this before, but you're so right. Good shit.
The fraud century is golden.
That's golden. That's coined and that's in rotation.
That's Doncho stamped.
Yeah, Doncho, you killed it with that. Doncho, do you have anything else for Aladdin before we move on?
No, I think pretty much everything for Aladdin is good. The only thing I would add though is the stuff that Jay talks kind of touched on was David. Just even David in Patron and how he leaned over was just fantastic. I just loved how he just had that influence on. I ain't gonna say that name. Y'all need to go read Magi. I ain't gonna say too much.
Please go read Magi if you haven't.
I ain't gonna say that name. I'm gonna go leave that one alone. But go read.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, for those of you out there who watch the anime, you know what I mean, like, and you saw the first 2 seasons. Not only do I personally really enjoy the adaptation for Magi in the anime, but they did pack a gang of content into a very small space. You know what I mean? They touched on all the things that were drastically important still, but if it's been a while since you've seen Magi, or maybe you're fresh off Magi and you were like, it was pretty good, it was all right. Nah, go into the manga and see why it was chosen for adaptation in the first place. Go see, exactly what that story is, the way that it's supposed to be delivered to you, like from start to finish, because like that's one of the best shonen manga in the last, I don't know, I'll say ever. You know what I'm saying? Like fuck it, like Magi is up there for me. But
yes,
great entry, Doncho. So it's me.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna be such a basic bitch, but I love Deku's origin, man. Like I love the
basic bitch.
I love the origin of Izuku Midoriya. I've talked about it, you know, a couple of times on a couple of different tie-in episodes, but this is like specifically origin related, so I could just go straight into the Duffy about why I think this is like one of my favorite origin stories in contemporary shonen storytelling. Because one, I'm a fucking drastic comic book nerd. I've been reading Western comic books, superhero comics, since I learned how to read. So that'd be going on 25 years now. You know what I mean? So when I see this Eastern, you know, rendition of Western superhero tropes and whatnot, I automatically was like, well, this is my new favorite series. But I wasn't ready for it to be such a character-driven epic the way that My Hero Academia was. And the tone setter inside of Izuku Midoriya's origin just slaps so hard for me, because like one of the biggest points in my own origin story, you know what I mean? Like the saddest part of my own origin story is finding out that superpowers aren't real and that we can't do extra normal things in our three-dimensional, you know, reality that we kind of live in here. You know what I mean? So that was like such a shock to my system when I was a kid. Like it hit me harder than Santa Claus. It hit me harder than, you know, like all of those things, you know what I mean? Like finding out that I couldn't fly eventually one day or shoot laser beams out of my eyes or something like that was just devastating to me as a small child. And then seeing that kind of represented through Deku in his own fictional world where people actually do have superpowers, I tear up every time I watch episode 2 of season 1 of My Hero Academia. One, just because the writing is just beautiful, but also everything else about the stimuli in that scene, from the OST rolling into that beautiful crescendo as All Might tells Deku that he can be a hero with the Sakura petals like slowly flowing in the fucking scene and shit. Kimi wa hiro ni naru. Every time I fucking hear that fucking voice actor, I'm just like, just get chills and start tearing up. So that one resonates with me like hardcore, not just from like an origin point perspective, but then extending farther beyond that with the rest of Deku's writing has just never lost that momentum for me. So like this is just all time like top 10 origins in anime and manga for me, just off of like premise alone for Deku, you know what I mean?
That's nice. I didn't really think of Deku.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that you said that. And it's funny because I'm one of those people who think Deku. I just hate people who talk bad on Deku, man. Like, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know why. I don't connect with Deku that much, but I really like him because, like what you said, that origin story. Like him experiencing knowing that he wouldn't be able to be a superhero hit him really hard. But I think what made me start to respect him was when he looked the person in the face that he admired his whole life and said, even though you tell me I can't be a hero, I'm going to figure it out.
Yes.
People like kind of ignore that. All Might told him at first, give up.
Yeah.
You know, he told him, be a police officer, be a detective, do something else.
Yeah.
And Deku said, no.
Yeah.
He's told All Might no. Like he said, no, I'm going to still figure this out. And that was the moment for me that I was, okay, no, he's not the mess. He's serious.
Yeah.
His everything doesn't hinge on what All Might says, because if it did, he would have been crushed there. He would have gave up.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He said, no, I'm going to still figure this out. And that's what made All Might go, he's going to be my successor.
Yeah, and it was
it's those levels.
It was crazy that that All Might even said, you know, that shit to him on the roof when he told him like, yo, you can't be a hero without power. He didn't let him down, you know, he let him down easy, but he still said the words, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't say, like, give it up, kid. Like, he wasn't being a douchebag about it. I mean, like, Midoriya was on his heels, like, I know, I want to interview you. I'm your biggest fan, like, blah, blah, blah. And naturally, you know, All Might would be like, hey, I got to be nice, but, like, kid, you're being weird. I got to go. And then they have their conversation that they do. And Deku's like, check it out, man. I don't got no superpowers, bro. Like, can I still do what you do, though? And All Might, you know, kept it real. He kept it a buck. He was like, nah, bro, I'm sorry. And here's why. I don't want to fill your head with fantasies and, you know, and shit like that. I want to keep it real with you because I fucking care about you, and like that's just my job as a hero. But at the same time, as he told him like, yo, I'm sorry, it's probably not gonna work, I automatically thought like, damn, never meet your heroes, kids. You know what I mean? I was like, oh no, I was like, I feel so bad for Deku. And then it made me think like, oh, okay, so this motherfucker's gonna go get some gadgets. He's gonna go figure it out because he's resourceful and he's been studying these motherfuckers from top to bottom anyway. Yeah, little Batman. I don't want to say that because that's like a huge point of contention on the timeline and whatnot when it comes to My Hero Academia talk. But like that's definitely like where my mind kind of like went originally when I was going through the story for the first time. And obviously it went the way that it did and it all worked out. But like just the fact that it wasn't like an idyllic, you know, interaction with your hero for the first time. He actually had to let him down and be like, yo, I'm sorry. I just wasn't expecting that. I thought All Might would be like, ha, 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 never fear, kid. I got just what you need. You know what I mean? And he eventually did do that. But it came, you know, at the cost of, you know, really introspective character writing for both of them. And it set the tone for their relationship moving forward. The fact that All Might had to tell him straight up, like, yo, I got fucked up trying to fight All for One. You know what I'm saying? Look at me. I'm not even the hero that I once was. You know what I mean? So, like, it's real out here. You can't just be like, oh, watch me on TV all day and then want to do what I do. Like, this is really hard to do without powers. I got the tightest power there is, and look at me. You know what I mean? So I was just like, damn, I wasn't ready for it to be this visceral this quickly. You know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shit, as a slapper.
So it's funny. I've been I do have my moments where I slander Deku because I say he has no sauce.
Uh-oh.
I do that. You know, with Deku, I respect the character.
Absolutely.
That's where I've always stood with Deku. It's like I respect the character. Yeah. I like his origin story is very nice too. So like I agree with that. Yeah. You know, my only issue with Deku ever is that, you know, he was a little sauceless. And that's all it was. He was sauceless. Now, lately, the newer, like Dark Deku, when Deku got a little dark after the shit he done been put through, bro, I was like, all right, Deku looking kind. You know, he look kind of shiesty right now. I said, okay, I like this. I like
you want to know why that slapped so much harder? Or you want to know why it slapped so hard when he finally went into like his vigilante dark form? Is because of those 250 plus chapters where he was sauceless. And I talk about this all the time. It's like when you have such a long, sprawling epic of a series like My Hero Academia, you want to show the progression of your main character from absolutely nothing to absolutely something, and that includes no powers, no sauce, no, you know, like barely any no likability at all. Deku, no bitches, you know what I'm saying? Like Deku had to exist entirely off of initial charm for so long for a lot of people. You know what I mean? And then as he came into his own, you started to feel that growth and that progression because it was so subtle and so, you know, drawn out. You know what I mean? Like it took Deku like 150 chapters to stop breaking his bones every single time he used his powers. You know what I mean? And that's maybe hyperbolic. I can't really remember, but like it took a long time. You know what I mean? And now that he is where he is, going back and looking at the time when he wasn't shit is what makes these newer chapters slap as hard as they do.
So I have a crazy hot take. I'm gonna mention it, and I hope everyone gets upset about it. Deku was a better MC than a lot of our major shonens, bro.
Uh-oh. They ain't ready for that one. You know what I'm saying?
It's like we talking like Naruto, Ichigo, bro. Like I'm coming for him. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate to do this. And Zach, I hope you're upset. He's a better MC than Luffy.
Uh-oh.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. And maybe this is for me. Maybe this is my he left. Dacho's gone. I'm gonna tell you why. For me, I guess it's like character writing. It's the character writing that I like. I'll mention that. Seeing characters develop, grow, change, but maintain the fact that Deku went through all of this. He changed. And he went through a transformation arc, but still maintained who he is as a core character. Horikoshi maintained his core principles while putting him through character progression and tragedies where he reacted correctly. Not just, I'm goated, I'm just going to fight through it. No, Deku struggled. Real struggle. I saw the struggle. Yeah. And not to say Luffy hasn't struggled, because
Luffy be struggling.
One of the best moments for Luffy ever, and I will die on this hill, Sabaody is the greatest thing Oda has ever done for Luffy's character to this day. It's Sabaody. What happened with Sabaody? Horikoshi puts Deku through Sabaody almost every fucking arc, dog. Why? This little nigga Deku be suffering, son.
I never even thought about it like that. That's so funny.
So like to me, and again, this is my opinion, I'm just saying, And when it comes to actual character writing, I'm taking Deku over Luffy. That's just me, though.
I love that. And honestly, like, considering the fact that, like, Deku and Luffy almost play, like, not entirely opposite roles, but, like, Luffy doesn't get a whole bunch of introspective internal monologues, like, on purpose, you know what I mean? Because we see the way that he just influences the world around him, and that uplifts his character, you know, adjacently. You know what I mean? Like it kind of like, you know, works together like that. Deku is someone that we hone in on and focus on internally constantly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not too hard to disagree with, or to agree with that.
It's just Luffy's story is just too much about the world, while Deku is about him. That's how
it's very interesting. It's a very introspective story with Deku, and Luffy's more. I always said this: Luffy is more the agent of change for everything, where Deku is changing constantly. The world is trying to change Deku, and that's the difference. So it depends on how you want the story. It depends on how you absorb the medium. And for my tastes, I'm always going to take a character like Deku over a character like Luffy 10 times out of 10.
That was a bar. Yeah. Hold on. You said the world trying to change. Luffy be changing the world be trying to change Deku. Hold on. Put it on a t-shirt. JP Legend.
Bars,
that was bars for sure. Holy shit. Yeah, I had to bring up Deku, man, even though it's very, I don't want to say a very basic pick, but like, you know, it's not like any kind of like wild out there, like, you know, clutch pocket pick or anything like that. But before we move into the next round, I want to address the chat a little bit because I saw some really cool entries in the chat. Simple says Ocelot's origin is super underrated. I forgot about that one. Me too, brother, because Ocelot's origin is incredible.
No spoilers, because I ain't read it yet.
Oh, okay. Have you seen the anime?
Yeah. I've only seen 7 episodes. I need to watch it. I'm gonna watch Vinland.
Okay, no. We can't.
He took his glasses. Excuse me.
Yeah, we can't spoil Jay on Vinland. But yes, Ocelot origin, goated origin. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah. I might do that this week.
Dofi's origin is heat. That's definitely absolutely true. That's one of my favorite origins and backstories in One Piece personally. It's probably my favorite villain origin. That's kind of off the top of my head. I might have to think about that. But Doflamingo's backstory is up there for backstories in One Piece in general. One Piece is one where you can really just have an entire tie-in episode on this channel dedicated to just One Piece backstories. Maybe like a tier list, Jay. One Piece flashback tier list.
I mean,
wait a minute now. That'd be
something I could do. That's something we can definitely do on stream for sure.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We could talk about that. We'll throw that on the rain checklist here for now. But yeah. Let's see. Commodore Laws, what's going on, Laws? Good to see you, man. Shiro, Saber, Rin, Sakura, Medusa, Ilya, so many it's insane. I agree. This is a topic that has like a massive pool to draw from, and everything that you just listed that I am familiar with is a slapper. So great entry there, Laws.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah.
There's one I really want to mention, but I'm gonna let Doncho have it because I know he's gonna bring it up, and if he doesn't, I'll be very disappointed in him.
Okay.
I'm gonna let him have it.
Okay. Oh yeah, we can.
But I think it's your turn though.
Yeah.
It's my turn, so I'm not gonna do it. You know, I'm gonna spoil it a little bit because it is in your series.
Okay.
You
know, and you
wait, JJK or Hunter?
JJK.
Okay.
You want to know what?
Wait. You won't be disappointed because I purposely said don't and don't do JJK. I told myself.
You said don't do what? You said don't do what?
Don't do JJK. I told myself not to do JJK because I didn't want to be cliche. I didn't want to come off cliche.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I didn't want to do any One Piece either because
same.
There's just so many. There's just like
because everyone can just go for Dofi. You know, you go for Dofi, and it's just like all right. Like okay, obviously
low hanging fruit. Yeah,
it's low hanging fruit. You can't do that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's go into round 2. Jay, what do you got for us?
So this one I think is a little bit outside the box. You know, I guess it's a popular series, but you know, the origin of FMAB, the homunculus in a flask.
Yes,
that backstory with Hohenheim and the homunculus in the flask. I like that a lot. Right,
really, and that's the Brotherhood.
That's the Brotherhood
origin of the homunculus.
Yes. Okay. So because what it does for the story itself, right?
Yeah.
The Philosopher's Stone. It's funny if you watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. If you watched Full Metal Alchemist first and the Philosopher's Stone, you saw how that was made and everything, right? Yeah. You think, okay,
You're talking about 2003.
2003, right? You're like, oh, that's an interesting take. Like, okay, like need all these souls and put it in. I think it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. In FMAB, they show you how the very first Sorcerer's Stone was made, Philosopher's Stone was made. Mm-hmm. And seeing Hohenheim come up and then interact with this homunculus in the flask and understand, okay, this is where the homunculi originated from. Like, what is this entity? Who is he? He's just a black thing speaking. Like, how did he even, it's the origin of alchemy. I'm like, this is wild. Yeah. And as you go on and you see, they're searching for immortality. This king is like, oh, we're going to do it this way. And then you figure out, like, this is how you're supposed to set up immortality. And it's by sacrificing the lives of everyone.
Yeah.
And it shows you the horrible side of human nature, where within their own self-interest are willing to sacrifice an entire country. And for Hohenheim, who is a good-natured person by heart, and he's like, oh man, I've got this science, and this little homunculus in a flask has changed my entire life, where I'm a great scientist and I'm benefiting people's lives. And you see him grow up, you see the transition, and in that one moment where they think they're all standing in the center of the circle, they think this is in the right spot, and the homunculus flag is like, nah, nigga, I'm standing in the right spot, and so are you, Hohenheim. We killing everybody. And I'm like, what? And the fact that Hohenheim has to live with the fact that he's completely innocent, but he sacrificed an entire country. And the homunculus in the flash is like, honestly, bro, I just included you because you was good to me. It is what it is. Like, it was a favor. It was a petty favor. Like, go ahead, nigga. You're immortal now. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm just like, for Hohenheim to have to live with that for his entire life and live with those voices and then speak to every single one of them and get to know those souls. I think people underestimate how traumatizing that must be every single day to have thousands of voices that you knew personally.
Yeah.
Screaming in your consciousness over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah. And just to see how that ties into why he had to step away from Ed and Al and the wife that he loved her. It seems like he didn't, but he really loved her, because I'm like, I have to die with this woman. I cannot stomach dying. Well, I cannot stomach just staying alive and watching my wife die and my kids die. I want to die with my kids. I want to see my kids grow up. I want to die. And just seeing that, it was like, it's the most unfortunate backstory I think I've ever heard in a while, outside of, obviously, you got Gyro and whatnot, but it's like, it wasn't his fault at all.
Yeah, when it's not their fault, it always slaps. It's
so sad. It is so sad. Yeah. So for me, I think I love where they introduced it. They introduced it near the end of FMAB. Mm-hmm. So then everything kind of made sense retrospectively. Mm-hmm. And then you seeing that Ed and Al were chasing this Philosopher's Stone. They went down the same path as their father, but they went down it ignorantly.
Yeah.
Hohenheim went down it not even knowing what was about to happen. Yeah, so like the tying in of Hohenheim's story with Ed, and then them coming back together, and then you just understanding that this guy's always been a good man. He's always been a good father, but to Ed, he'll never be a good father.
Right. See,
and it's so sad.
This is the difference between like Brotherhood and 2003 Full Metal Alchemist that I love going into whenever it's brought up, because the writing for the origin of Homunculus inside of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood slaps so hard once we get it. You know what I mean? But then over on the 2003 side of things, the origin of Homunculus conceptually speaks louder to me, because it fits in more with like the original themes that the series kind of started on, right? Because in 2003 Full Metal Alchemist, homunculus are born from failed human transmutations. So like the fact that Edward and Alphonse started off the story, the first thing we see really inside of Full Metal Alchemist for people that started in 2003, and I think it's the same in Brotherhood too, is that first failed transmutation that we see of them trying to bring their mother back to life. And that obviously creates, the homunculus Sloth later, I think is what we find out, is that it's Sloth is their mom homunculus or whatever. Or maybe that's Brotherhood. Maybe I'm getting the wires crossed.
No,
but
that's
anyway,
the original.
That is the original. Yeah, right. So when I'm looking through, and I just felt like that fits so much better for the theme of Full Metal Alchemist, because then you go into the Scar storytelling, and Scar's brother created lust by trying to bring his wife back using failed human transmutation. And when he
did like that concept a lot. Yeah,
when Scar's brother failed to bring his wife back to life, the cost of that failed transmutation was his dick and balls. Like he literally is like walking butt naked into his brother's room, like I fucked up, I did it wrong, everything I'm doing is wrong, bro, help, and is fucking bleeding, hemorrhaging blood from his fucking pelvis because his fucking jewels are gone. You know what I mean? And like that was like, holy shit, that's so dark and so crazy. Like, oh my god. And then you find out that that failed transmutation became lust, and it's like, oh shit, yo, like that's so cool and fucked up and deep. So like conceptually, I liked the idea of the origin for Homunculus in 2003. I feel like it just barely edges out the, 2003 edges the Brotherhood origin.
I think that's a good take. I like that though.
But
that's a good
that's interesting.
and see, like I get a lot of flack for my Full Metal Alchemist takes, and I've adopted them from Kiko really, because originally I was like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood all day. You already know what it is. But then talking with Kiko constantly, because he prefers 2003, and I think I do too now. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of the things inside of Full Metal Alchemist, because 2003 was my first experience with the IP. I didn't read the manga. I just watched the anime. Right? Whoever was doing the fucking filler, whoever was writing the filler for 2003 Full Metal Alchemist needs to write the filler for everything that uses filler. I swear to God, because like that is some of the best like non-canon writing that I've seen inside of a successful story that I myself can consider myself a fan of. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of like my favorite moments from my initial impression of the story of Full Metal Alchemist are like kind of glossed over in the Brotherhood adaptation. You know what I mean? Like the Rose and Cornello storytelling was not as introspective and character driven in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood as it is in 2003.
And I do agree. So I would. It's probably more the plot. The plot for FMAB was better than the plot for FMA. However, you know, when I'm thinking about the Greed versus Ed fight in FMA, the original, that fight was sensational.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a sensational fight. Like this. That's still one of the best fights. But again, to me, Fuhrer King Bradley. Now, Fuhrer King Bradley in FMAB is a presence that is unmatched. I'm sorry. FMAB, Fuhrer King Bradley is infinitely better in FMAB than he is in FMA.
Yes. Yeah.
And just absolutely, I mean, the speech.
It's not even close.
You expect me to walk into my own palace, walk to my palace in the front door, and he ran in and he beat tanks. I said, this nigga is different.
Yeah, that shit was wild, son.
Oh God, man.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Bradley in FMAB is drastically dukeying on the Bradley from 2003.
Drastically.
Great entry, beautiful. Do you have anything else that you wanted to say about the Homunculi before we move on?
I'm good, man.
Beautiful entry, Doncho. Hit me, brother. What we got?
Actually, this is very funny. 25th Teachy actually brought up my next one. He said, Doncho, you better bring up the GOAT. And it was very funny. How Asakura from Shaman King.
Ooh, let's. Yes. Remind me, because it's been so long, but I love this pick.
So, reason why this actually became okay for me to use, because you did mention, told us this was Try to Go anime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, his backstory is just now getting covered in the anime. The reboot. So like
right on time. Look at that. Look at that lineup.
So basically what I love about How Asakura is just he pretty much was, how can I explain this without spoiling people if they haven't seen Shaman King? It's just he's this entity that is closest thing to becoming God in the story, right? Because he's so powerful and he's because he's a shaman that has mastered 1,000 years ago. So he's like Kenjaku, I guess, or Sukuna, if you want to do like a JJK comparison. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, Doncho, real quick. You're starting to cut out a little bit again. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I know you're about to get. I know you're about to get in your Jan sport, so I had to.
It's okay. Yeah. Hopefully, can you guys hear? Hopefully, it starts working out. I'm trying to adjust my mic. But basically, what's going on with How is that he, for me, is that a character who embodies how humanity bad. Like humanity can make a good person go from I want to help everyone to I want to kill everyone.
Yeah.
And I think why I love him is because he changed because humanity no longer respected him. They feared him.
Yeah.
And it is because humans always fear things we don't understand. Yeah. And that's, for me personally, that's the biggest mystery about people that I've always wanted to get better. was, why are some people curious? Why some people are just fearful? Like anything that supernatural, occult, or just things that they don't understand in science, they fear it. You know, it's something that they don't want to get near. They think it's fake or whatever they want to go. I think How embodies it, but in a supernatural sense. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
And
that's deep.
That with Yo, the main character, and how Yo is a piece of him, how like you can say it's like it's emotions that How is missing, and how Yo had to be the one to give those back to him is just fantastic to me. But it only can hit if you understand why How went bad. If you don't have that concept of How going from the Yoji who was saving humans, who was protecting everyone, stopping demons, and then people said, wait, how can he kill a demon? That's kind of scary. How can he figure out how to resurrect people? That's too scary. How can he heal diseases science can't? That's too scary. And then become his enemy is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And then seeing how he goes from, oh, human beings are disgusting. It's just like Ghetto. Like, you know, it's a beautiful.
Y'all a bunch of monkeys.
Monkeys, like, he literally was like, wait, the world would be a beautiful place if it was nothing but shamans who understood that spirits were important, who understood that nature was important, who didn't want to pollute the world, who didn't let, you know, the ozone layers get destroyed, who didn't have all these cars killing people. Like, it's all of these crazy things from a 1990 manga, early 2000 manga. I find impressive. But just How is amazing. I just really love that all things mixed into his character, all these traditional values mixed in with the modern day issues that we have today, like climate change and things like that. It's crazy.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, no, you're spitting. Yeah, that was a nice little monologue there. I might have to. Now, I never read the Shaman King manga.
I've never read or watched Shaman King. I haven't seen either.
Oh, so. At all.
Yeah, so I mean that's That's actually a very interesting backstory, and I'm very curious about Shaman King now, which is good. So
I watched the 4Kids joint, and I've been a part of so many. It was 4Kids, right?
It was definitely 4Kids.
Yes.
I never watched Shaman King with 4Kids.
Yeah, I got that one, and I used to watch that. Like, man, that was like one of my faves, bro. And then, but like I didn't really know anything about anything, you know, back then. And then like as time went on and all of my friends started like finding manga sites and going back and being like, yo, this has a comic book. And then all of a sudden I'm a part of all of these Shaman King conversations and everything just sounds so wildly interesting to me. And they're talking about plot points and concepts that I never got in the 4Kids version and shit. And like my interest and intrigue in the series has just been building and building over the years. And I've never taken the plunge and jumped in and actually took the series from the beginning and wrote it out. But you making a strong case, you tickling my, you know what I'm saying, my interest again.
Your fancy.
Yeah, my fancy.
It's bad too. Kodansha licensed like a Kazemban version, pretty much an English Kazemban. It's like a whole bunch of updated art.
Okay.
Updated art and everything. So go get into it. Check it out now.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
I got a really good one for Laz. He's gonna love it. Go ahead, Knox.
Yeah,
I got one for Laz. He's gonna like spiritually awaken when I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah, I think I will knock this one out, and then we'll go into like one more round, and then we'll wrap it up. But God, I literally just thought about how I'm like always bringing up this character in tie-in episodes, but I don't care because he's fucking amazing. I love the origin of Vash and Knives Millions from Trigun. Right? We've all seen Trigun, right?
I have not seen Trigun.
Oh no! Okay. I'll try. This is something you got to do, Jay. So I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try my best to do this in a way that doesn't fuck it up for you, right? Because, okay, Vash the Stampede is like just one of the, like for me personally, when I was coming up in anime and manga, like this was the first time I saw a character that was just so out of place for what I thought anime was. Like I had never like thought like the idea of like Western gunslinging anime was just like so foreign to me by the time I was introduced to Trigun that I was like, this is the tightest thing I've ever seen before, and this is my favorite character in anything that I've ever seen. Like, I was just so enthralled automatically just off of the aesthetic and original, you know, vibe of Trigun that it became something that I found myself rewatching over and over and over again, more so than like Pokemon and fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! And like other things that I was watching around that time. And the story of Vash is so cool because when he's introduced, he's very mysterious and enigmatic, and you want to know more about him, but then the personality that you get is very jovial and bombastic and flamboyant. So when you have a situation like that inside of a main character that you know has a very deep, layered origin story that you can't wait to get to, I almost like didn't ever have like, I never got like anxious, like when are we going to get this story? When are we going to get this story? One, because Trigun's not that long anyway, so you eventually just get to it. But also it's like the external personality that Vash gives you in the beginning is so big that you kind of feel like you know a lot about him after a very short amount of time because his personality is so, you know, wild. You know what I mean? Like you learn a lot about the character that he shows to you that by the time we got to the fucking origin, I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot that we were going to get this eventually. And it slapped so fucking hard, man. Because not only do you find out that Vash, how do I do this? I'm just like, wait a minute.
I can deafen.
I can. Hey, deafen real quick, and then I'll go like this. I'll go like this when I'm done.
All right. I can't hear anything. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So not only do you find out that Vash just isn't human at all, because like when you find out about the Sunday incident, I think is what it's called, when he blew up that fucking city with the angel arm. When you find out that he did that, you're like, oh my God, like no matter how you slice it, that's very fucked up and he's a terrible person for that. But this personality that I'm getting externally is like, oh my God, you're my best friend. What the fuck? So by the time you finally get the origin and you find out that they're on this fucking starship freighter in the middle of the fucking vacuum of space, and he's this like seedling plant humanoid thing that they're fucking harvesting, you know, for energy to like run shit, you know what I mean? Like it's like they're basically batteries that gain sentience.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking wild. I've never seen anything like that before. And then you get this like super sympathetic and pathos fueled story about Vash and Knives as twins growing up, and you know, you go into concepts like existentialism and morality and all of these things that humans naturally understand, but these humanoid plant people can't really grasp that concept. They're more like computers with the way that they like logically examine things. Utilitarian cost benefit analysis is like all over this fucking story. You know what I mean? But it's presented in such a wholesome manner up until you get this fucking this flashback. And I fucking love Rem. Rem is like, oh my God, you guys can think, you guys have feelings. Oh no, I'm taking y'all away from the scientists. Y'all are coming over here and I'm raising y'all myself. And then you just fall in love with Rem instantly as this motherly character. And as she raises them and teaches them things like morality and shit like that, the butterfly and the spider scene where they're like laying on the fucking hill of grass, and Rem is like, so what do you guys think about this situation over here? And Knives is like, the spider is stronger. Right. He's got to eat. The fucking butterfly got too close. Oops, sorry, bro. You're in the web now and your dinner. Like, that's how it goes. And Vash is like, no, the butterfly didn't fucking do anything. So, like, leave him alone, how about? And Knives is like, well, then the spider's gonna die of starvation, so what do you do? And I love these kind of moral quandary arguments. Philosophy is, like, one of my favorite subjects, and I just love arguments like that, like freedom versus security, morality, you know, utilitarianism, Machiavellian, what have you, do-dat terminology, whatever. Like, that's my shit. Mind-body dualism, all of that shit is like my bag. So when I'm seeing all of this in Trigun, and then adjacently, like Full Metal Alchemist was also bringing in, you know, these like really deep, you know, moral concepts, like, you know, fucking atheism and good versus evil and all of these things are like shaping me, and I didn't even know it in the background because I'm like fucking 10, 11 years old when I find these things for the first time. So I have stories like Trigun and Full Metal Alchemist to thank for like my outlook on a lot of my outlook on life. And a lot of these themes are touched on in Western comic books too, but it's presented in such a more epic and deep fashion in anime and manga more consistently in my experience.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So this is the kind of shit that really hit me and stuck with me for like a really long time. And then when we finally come out of that flashback, well, towards the end of the flashback, you find out that fucking Rem sacrifices herself to go try to redirect the navigation on the freighter and save as many people as she can while she jettisons, you know, Vash and Knives out the fucking missile pods and sends them back to Earth. And like after like that ended, I just found myself crying and sitting with my mouth open like, oh my God, what a story. You know what I mean? So I had to highlight Vash. Jay, you're good. yeah. Sorry, that was long-winded, but I had to get in the Duffy real quick.
He said he had to get it out. He had to get it out.
Yeah. He was in the go yard for sure.
Yeah.
Go yard bag.
Yeah. But I don't know if you have anything that you wanted to like chime in, you know, with Doncho in regard to Trigun. I know that JD isn't going to have too much to say, and I kind of was just like spotlight for like 6 minutes or whatever. So
get yours.
You took everything away. I don't even know. I can't believe I didn't think of Vash and Knives. I'm disappointed in myself.
Yeah, honestly. It's a good one. It's a good one.
You did an amazing job. That was fantastic.
Thanks. I
don't even know what to say, dude.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, we could totally move on. Before we get into the last round, I just want to go back through the comments and see if anybody has thrown out another really cool origin story. Got Shaman King in here. Geto and Gojo. Hey, Geto and Gojo origin story together is fucking beautiful. The anime is like about to come back though, so like for people who might watch this and are anime only for Jujutsu Kaisen specifically, like you can't have that spoiled for you. So I don't even want to like attempt to talk about Geto and Gojo because we're like about to get that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I'm a chill on that, but yes, absolutely, that is a banger.
I just love that, like, the JJK fandom is so in love with the series of the anime, and I'm like, you guys literally you don't know what you're about to receive in season 2.
Yeah,
they just don't know what they're about to receive. The name Toji alone will be in lore forever. When Toji arrives, guess who's gonna be front and center? Me.
With the church.
The church
in
bro,
session.
once the church is open, the congregation, the organ, bro, the organ is coming out again. I'm telling y'all, don't know about this goddamn organ.
That's hilarious.
I'm telling you, bro. If to me, I need to talk to Mappa and said Toji's OST has to be a Southern Baptist organ. It can't be anything else. It can't be. There has to be a Southern Baptist organ because this man, every time he appears, it's just a spiritual awakening. Every time I see Toji on the screen, I'm being reborn. This nigga is too cold. He's too raw. Like there's no one in anime that exists that is more raw than Toji Fushiguro. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I'm with you. You preaching to the choir. Me and Doncho right there with you every time. Come on,
bro.
now.
Doncho, I don't know if you saw my live reactions, but I had sermons
legendary
talking about this nigga Toji. I changed my shirt, thinking
he had a couple different wardrobe changes to get the Toji praise out.
I could not take. I was sweating. I said, this nigga is making me act like a child.
I'm starting to sweat now just talking about him here.
Just thinking about this nigga, I'm sweating again.
No. Yeah,
I'm a Christian man. I go to church every day. Man, I have never felt stronger homosexual feelings for a man. Ever. I said, Toji can take me. It's over. Take me, nigga. You got it. You got it, nigga. Toji got it, nigga. Whatever it is.
Yo.
Just take me, please. I'm going to ask Lord for forgiveness later, please.
Oh, shit. Ooh, my ribs, my chest.
He said my ribs.
My bloody chest. Oh. Yeah, Toji. It's Toji time pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man.
Oh,
good shit.
That's my dad, so.
Yeah, hell yeah. Dad. Commodore Laws. Ippo, just for his dad alone, makes me cry every time I revisit it. Love Hajime no Ippo, man. I need to get back on that. I'm not too far. I know that's got like 1,200 chapters. I'm about 200 in. But there's something about a story like Hajime no Ippo that's so long and sprawling that like follows the career of a fucking boxer from start to finish is just like so cool. And it just has to have an origin that slaps just off that idea alone. So good shit there. Hold on, what we cracking up for in the chat?
Jay is never beating the gay out.
He said, "Daddy." Alpha Invader, Jada Toji.
Listen, bro. At this point, I feel like Toji's an exception for every person. I don't care. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's good shit, man.
It's an exception.
Kichi, Jay is never beating the gay allegations. Hey, man, sorry, but he's right. Is this gonna follow you? No, I'm kidding. Especially with your community, man. Oh boy,
yeah,
you'll be lucky if you don't get clipped right now.
I'm pretty sure Jacko's already on it. He's already on it. Somebody's got a clip.
That's hilarious. Okay, final round, boys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
JD, what we got?
So, obviously, one I had was hidden inventory, but we're not talking about that one.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one.
To me, this is a low key one. But this is for last. You know, I love sports anime. I do.
Oh yeah.
Ace of Diamond is my top one.
Yes. I'm about to start this soon.
Ace of Diamond is my top one.
Yeah.
But there is a character in sports anime that I have never resonated with more.
Oh.
I love Saramura. He's my favorite MC. But there is a character I've never resonated more with than Bokuto. And when I tell you,
Bokuto.
This is in the manga. This is the manga. So I hope I don't spoil people.
Is this Daya?
Huh?
Is this Daya?
No, this is Haikyuu.
Oh, Haikyuu.
Bokuto from Haikyuu.
Okay,
His backstory. It's so personal. Like, it's not tragic. It's not sad. It's just so personal because what you see from Bokuto, so he's a character where the way he behaves is the way I behave. He's boisterous, he's loud, he's emotional. There's times where he's super high and super excited. He just gets depressed out of nowhere. And he's just he's so funny. He's such a funny guy. He's just goofy. And, you know, he's one of those people where he's a star and he loves being the star and he loves the attention. But he also's got he's very genuine too. So he's not cocky. He just loves the spotlight. That's who he is.
Yeah.
And when you go back, when you see the backstory, I don't want to spoil this for people who haven't read the manga. So I'm going to try and be very careful. In his backstory, you see him, he loves volleyball. And he's one of those people where it's like, yes, it's hard work, but I love volleyball so much, so I just naturally do I just naturally grind. Yeah. That's what I do. And he's always going through these spurts where he's either completely on form or he's off form, but no matter what, he's going to keep trying. And there's a scene where he is running with the team. And he's running, and he's like, everyone should love volleyball as much as me. Everyone should grind as much as me. And he turns around, and nobody's there.
Oh.
Nobody's behind him. And he's just like,
where's my people?
Where are my people at? What's going on? Like, why is no one working as hard as I do? We all love volleyball, right? Yeah. That's not the case. Not everyone loves volleyball as much as Bokuto does. So for him, it was lonely. It was so introspective to see. I'm like, this character is so unique. And then when in the moment, so I won't spoil the moment he's in because it was like it's a match. We call it the Bokuto match.
Yeah.
Elite match. This guy, man, brought me to tears. But when you see where that came from, you see what brought him to that spotlight, the hustle, the grind, the pure love and joy for volleyball. And the fact that the one person that always followed him was Akashi, he's the setter for his team. Akashi just followed Bokuto, and Bokuto clung on to him so much. So you know those characters where you don't really feel like they're paying attention, but they always are paying attention? That's what Bokuto is. So he holds Akashi dear. He holds him so dear to him just because Akashi's always been with him, and Akashi doesn't realize that Bokuto loves him that much.
Yeah. And
Akashi's also the type of character where he's always in his head, so he feels like he's failing all the time. Bokuto is like, nah, nigga, like, you've been with me since day one. Just get back on the horse. That's what we've done all the time, right? That's what we do all the time. We've been doing this all the time. So I'm like, man, this is a personal pick for me. It's a very personal pick. It's just that Bokuto, there is no character that I have resonated with more in my life and has intrigued me every time he's on screen. In everything, personality, design, skill. I mean, the skill of this nigga. Son, I have never seen someone make spiking look so fucking fun.
Dude, that's the thing that I saw in Haikyuu where I was like, wait a minute, this volleyball shit might have to get
It's the spikes for me, bro. His spike is like, aerodynamics. I'm like, yo, skying in the air, like, I got you. I'm like, okay, man.
I saw a panel with the coldest, bloodest imagery for a spike I ever saw. It was Buddy with the hands flailing, and then it was like a crow spreading his wings superimposed over the paneling and shit. I'm like, I was like, hold on. This getting picked up. I'm only like a couple episodes into Haikyuu and I haven't been back yet, but you making a strong case for me to get back on the wagon, buddy.
Yeah,
okay.
you have to get on that. But yeah, Bokuto is definitely my pick. That's a personal pick.
And even though I'm not experienced with Haikyuu, something that you said during your breakdown of Bokuto's origin really spoke to me is that when he turned around and saw that his people weren't there behind him, even though I'm not too big into sports anime and I haven't really done anything with Haikyuu, that resonates with me and I feel like it resonates with a lot of people because anyone that's passionate about anything, if they got people that are on the come up with them inside of that passionate field, it's really heartbreaking to find out that your people aren't as passionate as you about anything. Yeah,
yes.
You know what I mean? Whether it's sports or content creation or, fucking video games, like whatever, you know what I mean? Like the worst thing ever for me was finding out that my people weren't pulling up to play Halo no more. You know what I mean? It's like, what you mean? I thought we were going to the moon. Well, like, what the fuck? I thought we were about to do this esports shit. What you mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I definitely felt that in your breakdown. That was beautiful. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Awesome. Dancho, what you got for the piece de resistance today?
So for this last one, it's back to Hunter x Hunter.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, please.
Let's go.
If you have not seen the Hunter x Hunter movie, Phantom Rogue, because technically this falls in anime.
Oh, okay. I haven't even seen this movie. Wait a minute now.
They actually adapt Volume 0, which is current story.
Ooh, you cut out super bad. You cut out super bad right there.
It's Karapika's origin story.
Yeah.
Volume 0 of Hunter x Hunter. They adapt.
Oh, they put that in the movie? Oh,
yes.
Shit.
I need to see that. I need to see that expeditiously.
I didn't know that I would have been seeing this.
I need to see that expeditiously now.
So that's why I don't like that they did that. It was very weird.
Yeah.
Because the movie's not canon, but that beginning information of which is his backstory is canon.
Wow.
So it's weird. But pretty much what his story is that Karapika, I don't want to say too much because I want y'all to read it. Either read it or go watch that movie.
Yeah.
But pretty much what the story is Karapika was told by the Kurta clan he could leave the clan.
Yeah.
Originally, you're not allowed to leave. They decided that, I don't want to say why, but they decided that he could. But when we actually get the story of who he was, why he was important to the clan, his friend, Pedro, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to mess it up.
I'm about to say because I think I'm kind of ready this weekend. I might peak this weekend. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, we could do a watch party for it. We could go in the Discord or go on Twitch or something and do a watch party for this because I ain't seen it either and I'm trying to see it.
I'm trying to see that, bro.
Yeah. Keep going though, Dancho.
It's really good. Now, so the best I can explain it is basically Karapika was very angry. He was a very angry kid, very temperamental, but very smart. The Kurta clan, of course, as we know, were nomads. He always wanted to be a hunter. He didn't want to keep being a nomad.
Yeah.
He breaks the law, goes into the city, talks to people, meets people, gets introduced to this girl. He brings her back to the clan. Some things happen and unfold.
Yeah.
Without saying too much, Karapika believes he's the reason why the Kurta
He believes
clan was killed. He believes he believes that he's why the Kurta clan was because he did this.
Oh, he believes that this is why the Kurta clan was murdered. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're cutting out like so drastically right now.
I don't know why I'm gonna ask this question. I'm risking spoiling myself, but I need this answer. Is the girl he brought back someone that was originally in the Phantom Troop?
No, but the girl he brought back is theorized to be somebody we
know. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to, whenever you cut out, I'm gonna try to fill in the gaps.
Sorry,
I don't know why it's doing that either. I swear to God, when we were in pre-show, like it was not this bad at all.
Yeah, I don't know, but either way it goes, you guys have to check this because I wish I could explain it.
Well, I mean, I think you did a great job. Yeah, I think you did a great job, just like without spoiling. But like, we can tie that back to like the little bit of origin that we do get from Kurapika in the actual like main, story, right? Because like Kurapika for me was a character, and I love revenge motivations. Like I am a sucker for that shit, bro.
Same.
And the way that Kurapika's is represented, was always like so cool to me, because it's like, okay, we got very little information, and it takes a long time for us to eventually get the rest of the story, right? But when Kurapika is introduced, he's like, you know that he's got a chip on his shoulder, you know that he wants to get back at some people that wronged him and his people, so you're automatically just like, yeah, I want to see him do that. But then when you find out that it's this like fucking band of thief murderers that end up being such a drastic concept in the overarching world of Hunter x Hunter, and not just to Kurapika, it becomes a lot bigger automatically without you getting all of that raw exposition about his past and his origin. You can start assuming a bunch of things, and you're gonna fucking be pretty close on the head, because Togashi is so good about the exposition he does decide to give you. You know, you know, and like Kurapika, all he had to do was say like, these people came and cleared out my whole clan. I'm the sole survivor. I'm coming back to get my ones, and they're gonna run my fade. That's it. And then all the fights and all the narrative shit up until that, like the Phantom Troop arc, is slowly building that Kurapika character until he finally goes toe to toe with Uvo, and then subsequently, you know, the rest of the Phantom Troop members, and ultimately Crollo, you know what I mean? And all without getting that raw flashback. You care so much about this character and his motivations, and you need to see him accomplish these goals, even though you ain't got the whole story. You don't even need it, you know? And it's just so potent on the screen. Yeah, you really don't.
And the funny thing is, so just to add on to that, you know, I think one thing that we don't really harp on, we think about it, but we don't harp on it enough. But you have to think about the fact that Togashi made what made them so valuable is that it's their eyes. And you don't understand how gruesome it is to see the people that you grew up with, your mother, your father, the people that you loved, your people. Like, imagine seeing nothing but Black people's eyes as a collector's item.
Yeah.
And that's your everyday life. So you see, when you find someone with your people's eyes as a collection, that's gruesome. It's gruesome, and the fact that the people that stole it, just stole it for profit and said, "All right, well, on to the next one." It wasn't any grand scheme. It was all about greed, and that's it. So you kill my family, take our eyeballs for bread, and that's it, and you're done. You don't care. I'm not surprised Kurapika is on a revenge tour, because he has to. There's no way anyone wouldn't be on a revenge tour. And then to see the Fourth Prince, and this is why I'm so disappointed with Togashi. I understand his situation, but you can't write Heat like that. You can't write Heat like the Dark Continent, like the Fourth Prince.
Yeah.
Like what we got with Kurapika in the ship. Yeah. And just stop. You can't stop. You can't stop. You can't. Because the fact that that panel of Kurapika in the room with all of those eyes, man. Yeah. And seeing how evil he looked at that moment in time.
Yes. I never thought about it from the perspective of like really making it personal in an analog to like Black people. And like if I were to see, dude, Kurapika is a better man than me, because now that I got that lens that you just gave me, JD, if I'm in that auction and that motherfucker pulls the cape down and it's like we're selling black eyeballs today, I would be liable to just take off. I don't even know. I wouldn't even be able to think. I'd black out and just start swinging in random directions. Niggas sitting next to me, you know, in the bleachers are getting elbows and shit. I'd be like, nah, nigga, give me my shit back. You know, like I would. Kurapika, man, the self-control you gotta have. Let me tell you.
Hopefully I can get all of this out. Yeah. But that panel, JD, that you brought up, there's a character that you see that Kurapika thinks about. He's in the origin. You don't know him unless you see that origin. Read it. Pedro.
It's time for me to go back and I'm honestly like, I want to watch this movie, but I'm also just going to go back and reread this Volume 0 Origin for Kurapika, because it's been so long and I've only read it once, and I feel like I don't remember anything that you're talking about right now. So I gotta get a little refresher on that. But sorry, continue, Don Show.
Is it Phantom? What's it called?
Phantom Rogue.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna check that one out. That's getting checked out.
Yes, sir.
And it's on Amazon Prime. Lovely.
It's this one.
Yeah, that one right there. I remember seeing that cover too. Damn.
That's kind of cold.
So y'all know. So just in case, so y'all know what it looked like.
yeah, for sure.
But because there's fake ones out there I seen. But anyway, what else about? Oh, there's a few things too with the 14th Prince specifically that goes back to the origins and that same character in that panel.
It might be just time for a good old, comprehensive, thorough Hunter x Hunter reread. I mean, hey, it's only my 15th.
I'm about to say, like, it's like me. I've rewatched Ace of Diamond 5 times. It might be time for 6, but it's Hunter. I'm not gonna lie, the Hunter x Hunter rewatch is my god, it's just different.
It
gets better every time you watch it. Just every time it gets better. I'm like, this show was like, I'm watching. I'm like, Knuckle was that good of a character? Oh my god,
it's so crazy.
I was like, Knuckle is wonderful.
It's so crazy to like think about how dense of a story and world Hunter x Hunter is in such a relatively small chapter and episode count. You know what I mean? When I'm going back, like the first time I watch Hunter x Hunter, completely new concept. I'm not really used to like deconstructionist shonen storytelling yet. You know what I mean? So I'm like thinking I know what I'm getting into. I'm thinking I'm noticing the tropes, and I'm like, this is all familiar, cool, bubbly, find my dad, colorful. Everyone, you know what I mean? I thought I had it figured out. And then once you start seeing what really makes it a deconstruction, I'm now 100% focused on the ways that this story is going to subvert my expectations. So I'm like, I almost have blinders on going through Hunter x Hunter for the first time, and I can't see the forest for the trees because it's such a new kind of media for me. So by the time I finish Hunter x Hunter, I'm like, holy shit, that was fucking amazing. Run it back. You know what I mean? And so I went back right away. I went back. You know what I'm saying? And I ran it back, and the second time through is really the best experience of Hunter x Hunter. And then third, fourth, fifth, every single time I go through it, it doesn't matter. I'm finding a new, really cool detail or thing that I missed that isn't really all that arbitrary. Like, it's actually shit that matters every time. You know what I mean? It's not just random shit here and there. There's some cool little, like, bullshit Easter eggs you'll see, like a Pooh keychain or something from Yu Yu Hakusho on somebody's phone or something. Those are really cool things to notice too, but don't really matter too much. But like, it took me so long of going through Hunter x Hunter multiple times before I realized that Zeno is speaking Japanese with a Chinese accent.
Right?
Yeah, because like I'm sitting
that makes
here,
sense. Oh my god, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I never even thought about the idea of another language speaking that language in another language's accent. I'm only like, American English, so I can hear accents when people are speaking English, but this motherfucker is speaking Japanese, and Japanese is a very vowel-based, strict, language. Makoto, kaiju, you know what I mean? Like shit like that is the language, but the way that Zeno speaks it is very fluid and very slurry, like Chinese language dialect, is kind of delivered. And it makes so much sense when you think back to it, because his whole character is Chinese as fuck. Not only are the names of his fucking abilities Chinese, his fit is Chinese as fuck. His fucking kanji for his techniques is Chinese kanji, not Japanese. So it's like that kind of shit that you notice on rewatches, and like that doesn't really play into my point about how that's like a drastically important thing in the narrative or whatever. But like, it's just little shit like that where I'm like, man, this really is one of the coolest adaptations I've ever seen for anything.
Yeah.
One
quick point that like to point out something that isn't arbitrary to the story is the Gone Nin Baby theory.
Gone Nin Baby.
If you like. You've never heard of the...
Maybe you have to remind me. If it's not spoilers, remind me real quick.
The theory that Gone was created from a Greed Island card.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely heard this.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's
he's
wild.
A copy of Jing.
Woo! Wait a minute. So it's like that. It's like clone shit.
Twitter, I'll go in detail.
Yeah. Okay. It's like clone shit.
Because it kind of makes sense.
That's giving me like UQ Holder, Maho Sensei, Negima, like Negi and Tota connection vibes. My bad. Because
you never heard about his mother, and whatever, it would definitely be the Jin thing to do to say, you don't really have a mom.
It's just me.
It's just me, nigga. I made you. That's baby. It. Like I just said, you're built different.
There's a card in Greed Island that can get you pregnant, whether you're a man or woman.
Don't remember that at all. That's insane.
Yeah, you only know it if you read the manga.
Which I have so many times. And it's like, man, I think about Greed Island in anime form. And it's like, how many people had to sit there whenever a new card was brought up and you get the description for like half a second. And it's like 3 paragraphs. So you have to be like, wait a minute, pause. Yeah, you had to pause like a million times throughout Greed Island if you wanted to know what these cards did.
That's kind of crazy. That's crazy. It would make so much sense because Gon looks just like Jake. Like he looks just like him.
Yeah, dead ass. Wow. Wowzers. Yeah, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Man, Hunter x Hunter conversation just gets me.
That always gets me going, bro. It always gets me in the right spirit, brother.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. So what is me for the last little?
It is
for the last little joint. You know what I'm saying? It was so hard for me to decide what I wanted to talk about last. Like I have it between like Morgiana from Magi and then like the Elric brothers from like Full Metal Alchemist. We'll do Morgiana because like we've already kind of like done a bunch of a bunch of Full Metal Alchemist talk. And actually we've already talked about Magi a decent bit too. But whatever, we bringing it back to Magi. We circling it back and we closing on my goat Morgiana. And I love her story because it's just automatically so sympathetic and sad and resonating within you. Like it's slavery, you know what I mean? Like she's literally sold into slavery and beaten and abused to the point of establishing Stockholm syndrome inside of her between her and Jamil.
I think so.
Jamil. Someone remind me. It's been a really long time. I probably should have like looked up a little bit more of Morgiana's story. I'm going like straight off the top here. I don't remember like how familiar like you guys are with Magi. I don't know if you guys will be able to help me out, but Morgiana is just an amazing character to me. And from the moment that I started Magi and I'm in this completely new setting in anime that I've literally never seen before and never thought that we would go to get the depth of the research that Shinobu Otaka did for this area of our real world to influence her fictional story hits so hard because I can tell that a lot of these themes and a lot of these concepts inside of this character building comes from history, and it obviously does, and it resonates, with me as a black person specifically to get a slave story automatically just grabs a part of my soul and goes, you care about this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So Morgiana, and I'm just so not used to this being the origin story for a female character. Also, like by the time that I get here. So I'm automatically just like best girl, must protect at all times. Oh my God, I love Morgiana. And then as soon as she kind of like comes into her own and breaks these shackles and starts kicking everybody in their shit, I'm like, wait a minute, and she's cold-blooded, and she's on her shit, and she's, you know what I mean? So it was just a new kind of character that I hadn't seen before. I was ready for Morgiana to be like damsel in distress. Ooh, save me. I'm a slave. I don't like this. Come to my rescue, main character, And then she would just continue to just be that person that somebody saved and maybe get later character writing that makes her a little bit more interesting. But her actually just being a whole unit and then tying it into the finale stuff later. And then I was just not ready for the kind of story that Morgiana was going to have. And it slapped so hard because of that factor of, unexpectedness that came from it.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So I love that pick, and I actually forgot. I'll be honest, I just forgot about how weird her backstory was. I forgot because it was pretty gruesome.
It's a slapper.
I need to rewatch Magi. I think it's time.
It's time. Did you and you only watched the anime? You didn't finish the manga, right? Or no, you did. You read the manga.
I was like, I basically stopped right near the end. Basically, when sorry for the spoilers, but Sinbad and David were saying my nuts are bigger than yours. They were having that little contest of whose dick was bigger, basically
in 4-dimensional space.
Yeah. So I think I stopped like right at that point. And then a little bit afterwards, because there was like a whole expose, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't there? With like Alibaba, Sinbad, and Aladdin and all that, right?
Yeah.
It was still So that's where I left it off. I need to finish it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Honestly, like rereads and rewatches, like for things like Magi and Hunter x Hunter and even Jujutsu Kaisen at this point are just so important. I don't know, like I think I talk about it like sometimes on the show or whatever, but I'm just going to because I'm just feeling it in the moment right now. If you guys have had good experiences with any series like Jujutsu Kaisen or Magi or Hunter x Hunter, like rewatch those and just get those are 3 series specifically that I feel like a second watch or read is absolutely necessary for.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I can't really go on the Magi side of things because I haven't reread or rewatched Magi at all. But Jujutsu Kaisen and Hunter x Hunter and Magi still qualifies even though I haven't done it yet. But like those are stories that like are just going to slap so much harder for you a second time through. Yeah. Please do it and talk to me about it when you do. Follow me on Twitter. But yeah, man, fucking Morgiana, dude. I don't know if you guys have anything else that you wanted to add for that in regard to her origin, but like, what a character.
She's a great character, dude. I mean, you hit that nail on the head for the most part, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
One thing that I forgot to mention, and Jacko had brought it up. I'm ashamed. I didn't bring it up. You know, I think Claymore is one of the most disrespected series we've ever had because Claymore is incredible. Claymore is an incredible manga. Like, it is one of the best binges I've personally ever experienced.
Wow.
And the backstory of Teresa, son. I mean, if you want to talk about peak storytelling, you want to talk about best girl, you talking about wifey material, waifus, Teresa up there. She top 3. We talking she in the leagues with Casca. You know, she up there with Casca, bro. I'm talking like that level of like quality when it comes to women. Teresa and the backstory and how she went out, man. Fuck Priscilla forever, nigga. Oh my God, Priscilla. I hate all Priscillas, nigga. I hope all my
ruin the whole name. Ruin the whole name forever.
Whole name. I say a girl named Priscilla. We can't be together. I'm sorry.
Wow, Doncho, you're co-signing on the Claymore shit, huh? I haven't done Claymore yet. It might be time.
Claymore is, bro, I got the box set. I have a box set and it's only there just to let people know I'm cultured. That's what it's there for. I got a Claymore box set.
That's hilarious.
I think Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, is Claymore one of those series where the anime was bad?
The anime ended badly. The anime didn't end well. It wasn't the anime. It's not bad, but it didn't end right. The ending wasn't the same. It was one of those. So it's kind of like Toriko, where people don't know how good Toriko is because the anime was dog shit.
Anime was straight doo-doo dookie water. Oh my God.
It was straight ass. Just pure ass. But Toriko is gas. Toriko is heat. But the people, that's why I keep telling people, man, anime literally brings series to life. Like, it really, like Demon Slayer to this day, bro. I'm telling you, Demon Slayer would not be this popular if it was not for the anime. And it's not to slander this because Demon Slayer is very popular. It was going to be good, but the way it is, the way it's perceived,
the way it exploded,
is because of the anime. It's the same thing with any other series that you mentioned. It's not to disrespect Demon Slayer, but when you see stories like Toriko and Claymore not get the shine that they deserve, it's because their animes was poor. Yeah. Promised Neverland will never get the respect it's gonna get because they killed season 2. It was terrible. It was a terrible experience.
And the manga ended rather shitty.
Oh, I mean, the manga ending. I mean, again. I mean, so it's so sad because, bro, when you think about things like Goldie Pond, bro,
yeah,
like,
it's sad we didn't get Goldie Pond adapted.
You talk about Peak and you don't adapt Goldie Pond? Yeah. Who made that decision?
Yeah,
whoever that is, they can't have a job. They can't have a job in this industry ever again.
I have an idea. Right? Yeah, no, for real. No, Doncho's kind of spitting because I had this. I was talking about this on for Neverworld's Best Manga 2021 stream when The Promised Neverland came up in conversation. I think I have an idea as to, and I know literally nothing about the animation industry, and I know nothing about, the decisions that the people in charge of these IPs are making. But what it feels like to me is that The Promised Neverland season 1 exploded and it was the perfect adaptation. It's probably one of the best seasons of anything I've ever seen in my life.
That first episode is so good. Oh my God.
Spit, right? So that's there like that. But the manga was still going when season 1 started. The manga ended in a way that was not only just polarizing, but just like unanimously bad, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like one of the worst falls from grace that I've like ever seen in fictional storytelling. Wild. For something that I was that invested in, it was heartbreaking to see it go down the way that it did in the end of the manga. So what I'm sitting here going is like, okay, so this animation studio was like, this Kaiju Shirai and Posaka Demisu combination is shaking the streets up. We got to get this IP. Not only is this an amazing fucking story, but like, we got to get this shit because of the hype surrounding the manga. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and adapt this shit. Gave us season 1. Can't wait to do season 2. Oh, the manga ended so bad. We have to adapt that after building up like one of the best starts to an anime in recent memory. And we have to put like millions of dollars into that just for people to say that it's going to be buns by the end? Yeah, nah. Season 1 was great. Let's make up some shit for season 2, cut our losses, and not spend millions of dollars adapting a story that's going to end up being really disappointing by the end. So that's what it feels like to me.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That makes sense. It's sad. It really is sad when you think about how you can write an arc so compelling as Goldie Pond. I mean, the stakes were. When I look for stakes in the series, I think of Goldie Pond.
Yeah,
the stakes were so high.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
The reason
like,
why the stakes were so high in The Promised Neverland is because there was so much mystery surrounding such a fucking drastically dominating race of demons that could kill you. That's what I'm saying.
Time. Like, any moment, anytime, you make one mistake, you're fucking finished. You're finished, bro. It is so the lines, the margin for error is so thin, which is why Emma was so fucking wrong, and they ruined her. They ruined Emma. That decision was so bad. To this day, I'm not over it.
Yeah.
I'm not over that decision, bro.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% with you, bro. Like, that shit is fucking heartbreaking.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And I'm just like, wow. I mean, Lewis, what it took just to beat Lewis.
Yeah.
It took heaven and earth just to barely beat this nigga.
Yeah, they got out by the fucking skin of their teeth, fam.
The skin of their teeth, because Lewis was different.
Their butt hairs were singed by the end of that shit. Like, damn, they almost got me.
Bro, and then, with the ultra instinct in Emma's eyes, bro, when Emma just locked in, bro, you saw her face. I'm like, this bitch is locked in. Yeah. She knows if she makes a mistake, it's over. It's done. I'm finished.
Yeah. Yeah. I wait for shonen manga that come out since The Promised Neverland to be able to match that level of tension and uncertainty and stakes. Jujutsu Kaisen is really the only one that scratches that particular itch for me as far as like what's running in like Weekly Shonen Jump to that degree. Yeah. Now there's good stakes and tension and uncertainty in a lot of Weekly Shonen Jump, Weekly Shonen magazine series, and across a lot of different publication lines that I'm reading right now. But Jujutsu Kaisen is the only one that legitimately brings that I have no idea what to expect and I have no idea what's going to happen next. And it worries me kind of feeling to narrative progression in Jujutsu Kaisen. That speaks to me. Ranger Reject is doing a lot of that right now over on the Weekly Shonen magazine side of things. But like, it's rare. My point, you know what I mean? At least for me, in my experience and my perception of contemporary shonen storytelling has not really reached, that Promised Neverland level across the board. So I just love and miss the shit out of the good parts of The Promised Neverland. I need to go back and reread Goldie Pond and Gracefield House art.
Oh my goodness.
It's I need to be reminded of just how much I fell in love with that story at first.
The most gruesome scene, is when that demon, I think, who did he grab? He grabbed that little girl, I think. What's her name? So remember they were running around in the forest. The twin, remember the twin demons?
Yeah, Musica, and Buddy with the land swole nigga, her bodyguard dude. Yeah.
So not him. So in Goldie Pond, there was remember how all the nobles, the noble demons.
Oh yeah. They were like Cyclopean. Yeah, they were like Cyclops.
And remember when one of them caught? I think it caught one of the kids. And it didn't kill the kid. Yeah. He just kept punching her face repeatedly, just beating the I was like, this is so gruesome. And these are children. I was like, this is so gruesome. I couldn't stomach what I couldn't stomach. I'm like, when this gets animated, bro, it's gonna be nasty.
Yeah. And then we just didn't get it.
We just didn't get it. I'm just like, whoa, how do we lose these things?
Yeah, that shit's so sad, man.
Oh.
Wow.
Crushing.
Yeah. I love that we went off on that tangent a little bit there, because that was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Hell yeah. I think that'll do it for this episode of Tangential Tie-Ins, though, guys. That was where all of our picks. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. Let us know if you did down in the comments if you're watching the VOD. Live chat, thanks for pulling up. It was a pleasure to see a lot of familiar faces there. We got 65 people watching right now. I think that's the most that we've had for a live YouTube show like ever. So thank you so much, you guys, for pulling up. JD fans and Doncho fans, welcome. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And make sure that you take a look at the description and follow everything that we got going on over here at Project Manga. But I'm going to roll the red carpet out for JD and Doncho here so they can let you know what they have going on. Anything that's coming up, you guys, that you want to plug real quick. The floor is yours. We'll start with JD. What do you got going on, brother?
So as you know, I got my YouTube channel, got my Twitch channel. I am transitioning into being a reactor, discussion maker, and a skit maker. So that's new.
Your skits. I started watching. I was like, wait a minute, this nigga's doing skits now. That's like final form JD to me.
Final form.
Dead ass. Like I was waiting for you to get there. It's so good for you. Yeah,
I appreciate that, man. So I am gonna plug, skit piece. I am basically making a abridged live action version of One Piece. And the concept is to fill in the gaps of things that happened off screen and just reenact them in a funny and humorous way.
Brilliant.
So that's what I did. So I did that with Blackbeard and Thatch. We didn't see how that happened or how that went down, the conversation with Whitebeard and Ace. So other portions, I'm going to start doing things like that as well. The next episode should be out Monday, if not Tuesday. So definitely check out Skip Piece. It's a passion project. I don't care if it doesn't blow up. It's a passion project. Check it out. And if you like it, let me know. Give me suggestions, and I'm all here for it.
Beautiful.
That's on YouTube?
So my YouTube channel, yes.
YouTube, okay.
Yeah. Link in the description, by the way, for JD's YouTube channel. Doncho, what you got going on, brother?
Well, over at Doncho's Hideout, we got Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah. No way. Are you serious?
Nah. But on a serious note, though, I am about to start doing long form videos.
Long form, like video essays, like analysis?
Yeah. And also, I'm about to start doing, my mind's going blank. PPP, that one.
Oh, PPP. Yeah. P6. Shout out Kichi. That's my guy. That's his. He's been on that since the beginning, too.
I'm about to do that. And Trojan X.
Nice. You're going to do Trojan X content? Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. I already did a video saying why you should read it. So.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm about to go peep that because I haven't even started it yet. So that'll be perfect right before I get into it.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So please, slide by the Hideout.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. And of course, link down in the description.
Thank you.
Oh, I have a plug too. Any Eden Zero fans out there? I'm doing live reactions for Eden Zero manga. I go a volume at a time. I do it on Twitch. I'm on volume 8. So I'm in the middle of the Sun Jewel arc. I actually do that every Friday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I believe today is Friday. So holler at me tonight. I'll be on Twitch, twitch.tv/Project Manga. That's, of course, down in the description for you. And you can follow my journey while I catch up to Eden Zero. I'm also doing World Trigger every Wednesday. World Trigger fans, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Same Twitch channel. Fuck with your boy if you're into those series. But I think that'll do it. Thank you guys for joining me, JD, Doncho. It's always a pleasure to have you guys on whenever you guys can make it. Jay, I'm glad that we finally were able to get you on an official show over here at Project Manga. We had you on the Drunk One Piece Trivia, and that was about it. And we collabed a little bit on AnitubeCon a couple years ago. But now we're finally here. You did it. We did it, you guys. And it was a beautiful conversation, one of the best tie-in conversations that we've had in a really long time. And yeah, can't thank you guys enough for joining me, man, for real.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks for watching once again, you guys. Love ya. We'll see you on the internet somewhere. We're going to go ahead and wrap